Hey, good morning. Welcome to Erie Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Okay, while our mail order president is over at the G7 summit betraying our country and pledging $200 billion to the United Nations Green New Deal and promising that we will be in full compliance by 2030, the United Nations agenda, I want to talk to you about some basic rules of survival here on this channel. And a lot of people don't emphasize this enough. They're all about gadgets and new items and all that kind of stuff. But I want to talk to you about your absolute basic needs. And many people overlook this or don't even want to talk about it because it is what it is. It's reality. The first rule of survival is movement is life. And if you cannot get out of harm's way, you're probably not going to make it. And that's a harsh reality, and I don't mean to say that so bluntly, but that is what it is. If you are unable to move out of problem area, you're going to suffer the consequences. And many elderly, disabled people will not survive the consequences. It's just a fact. So I want you to take a look at your footwear and your feet right now. Pause this if you have to and say, what condition are my feet in? Are they, in good shape? I walk every day. I can jog miles and I'm in great shape and I have proper footwear for the climates? Or do I have the Taiwanese made tennis shoe that looks good, but as soon as it gets wet, it'll fall apart and you're walking barefoot on, cement and pavement and stones and thorns and everything else? Get yourself some proper footwear for all seasons. Walk in them, carry a pack in them, break them in really well. I guarantee you, and I just had this happen to me, I guarantee you there is nothing more painful, and people in the military can tell you this, there is nothing more painful to have blisters on the bottom of your big toe, rubbing on the bottom of your shoe, or in between your toes while you're walking. It is extremely painful, and if you've never had that happen, wear wrong shoes at the wrong time and see what you get. So you have to be able to get yourself out of harm's way. Movement is life. You have to be able to carry for yourself water, which is 8 pounds a gallon. And if you have weather like we just had yesterday, 100 degrees plus like 99% humidity, that gallon of water gets you about a half a mile. So think about that. Can you get yourself, your family, your children out of harm's way? If you have children or little ones, can they walk? Can they help you carry food, water, medicine, any of that stuff? Or are you going to try to be pushing a stroller down your road and hope they don't cry and bring attention to yourself? These are things you have to think about. If you have a bicycle, when was the last time you rode a bike? For me, it's been years. But I walk every day, up and down hills and back and forth and everything else. So movement is life. Have proper footwear. Make sure it's broken in. Make sure it is water, at least a very minimum water resistant. Good treading, and it feels good on you that you can wear all day. I wear my shoes inside and out all the time. The missus gets mad because I'm tracking in mud. I clean it up after myself. But I want to make sure my high top boots are broken and I can go in a moment's notice. Number 2, water. Do you have enough of it? Can you carry it? Do you have a CamelBak? Do you have canteens? Do you have water jugs? Like I said, we had 100-degree heat plus, might as well say 100% humidity. How much water can you actually carry, and how, do you have water filtration? If you can't carry enough water and there's streams and everything else, do you have a life straw? Do you have Sawyer, what do you have to purify water? In 100-degree heat, everybody says 3 days without water. In that 100-degree heat, I guarantee you, your life expectancy will be much shorter. So think about water. How can you get it? How can you clean it? How can you drink it without getting yourself sick? Remember, in an SHTF, sanitation is going to be a priority, and water will become polluted very quickly, especially in the city. Medicine. Do you know how to take care of yourself when there is no doctor? Do you know how to stop a bleed? Do you know how to stop our arterial bleed where it's spraying all over and you're saying, oh my God, How about a puncture wound? How about uncontrollable diarrhea, vomiting? Do you have medicines to do that? How about setting a broken arm or a leg? I do a lot of wood cutting for a fireplace and everything else, and I wear chaps, and if you were to see my chaps, you would see where I would get tired, rest the chainsaw in the down position, and the blade's still running. My chaps saved my leg many times because I got tired and I got lazy, and it cut into the chaps and stopped the blade. Thank goodness, because that would have been a femoral artery, and 30 seconds of life is not very much. So do you know how to do that? If not, watch videos, learn, go to the Red Cross and get your basic CPR. Can you save a life, especially your own? You may not be a doctor. Food. You're going to need food. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's not like. I know what it is like not to be able to find it. People say, well, I'm going to move out to the country and I'm going to be a hunter-gatherer. No, you're not. You absolutely will not. That's a myth. That's a lie. You will not be able to be out here roaming the woods saying, oh, I'm going to get me a deer, I'm going to get me whatever, and feed my family. That's a lie. You'll get dead real quick. First off, the game is not that plentiful that you can live off the land for a year or two. Secondly, all the land out here has been pretty much claimed or hunted and will be hunted by people in this area. And if you think you're out here saying, oh, hey, neighbor, I'm just out here looking for a rabbit or a pheasant or a deer, you're going to get shot because you're taking food off their table. Don't think that way. Think, how can I provide enough food for myself, for my family, to get out of Dodge or stay where I'm at and survive? Growing your own food, storing your own food, canning your own food, having a way to find more food. Listen, you go a week without food, and I guarantee you, from experience, that pack that you're putting on your back weighs a hell of a lot more, and your steps are a lot slower. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Those are the basics. And the last one, of the most serious of them all, besides getting out of harm's way, is defending yourself and your family with your weapon of choice. Having a gun and just saying, okay, I bought it, I shot 6 rounds through it, I hit the target, I'm good. Shooting is a perishable skill. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. If you don't practice on a regular basis, and I know ammo is expensive, and I hold my hand up right now, I cannot afford to buy 500 or 1,000 rounds and shoot half of it to say, okay, I'm up to snuff again. I can't do that. But I do shoot, and I do say, okay, I'm off a little bit, but I'm not center mass, but I'm enough to say you're dead. You have to know how to do that. If guns are not your forte, a bow and arrow, an axe, whatever, those are standoff weapons, and you have to know how to use those. And people say, well, I got me a knife, and I've got this Bowie knife, and I'm going to wing it around. I guarantee you that Bowie knife will be taken out of your hand faster than you can yell, who shot John, and plunge deep into your chest before you know what happened. You better be skilled enough to say, I can defend myself. I know what I'm doing. Don't go in there for this nonsense, throwing knives and throwing hatchets and all this other kind of crap. Get proficient with your weapon of choice. If that means swinging a baseball bat, go to the batting cage and practice. Literally, go to the batting and get your swing right. Know what you're doing. If you have a gun, practice it. People say, well, I can shoot night or day. Have you done it? Have you gone out at night and trying to hit the target in the dark with no flashlight? Oh, it's way different, buddy. You are so wrong. You're wasting ammo if you don't know what you're doing. Fire. I always carry it with me. I don't smoke, but I always carry at least 2 ways, 3 ways to make a fire. I'm not into this bow drill survival crap. I have matches and a lighter. I don't waste time, especially when I'm hungry, cold, wet, and tired. I want fire. I want to build a shelter. I want to relax for a minute, catch my breath, and, regroup. So I have multiple ways to make fire. These are just the basics. You have to know how to do it. Be outdoors. I overdid in 100-degree weather because I'm a workaholic, and I got sick on the hillside. I had to literally come down, sit, and regroup. It doesn't take much. Just wanted to give you some ideas what to look for, how to prepare. If you haven't ever made a campfire, which many people haven't, practice it. It doesn't take anything. Go out to the metro parks. They have little campfire ranges out there. Or go out to the woods someplace. Make your little wood groundswell and then start a fire and put it out. But know that you know how to make it. Alright? Thank you for liking and subscribing. It's a beautiful day. The temperature is not 100 degrees right now. It's 70 and I'm loving it. I got work to do. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for your kind comments. I really do appreciate it. Get yourself right with God. Start the day out right. Get yourself baptized, submerged in water. Find a church that teaches scripture that says, yes, we will baptize you, submerge you in water the correct way. In the name of Jesus Christ. Nothing else. Greg out.